Hi, I'm Lou Mosca, Chief Operating Officer of American Management Services here in Orlando, Florida. I've been a Forbes contributor now probably for about 5 or 6 years. But one of the things I wanted to chat with you about today is being an auto dealer. You know, there's a big difference between being an auto dealer and the manufacturer or the mothership like General Motors or Ford. So if you do a rewind and you go back to during the pandemic, right, 2020, 2021, you drove by a lot of car lots, and a lot of the lots were not full with vehicles. We actually had a client that we worked with recently in New England, and he was getting an allotment of 8 of a specific unit of vehicle every month, and the minute he'd get them, he'd sell them out. Well, today, folks, when you drive by any car dealership, you see the lots are pretty full. They're really pretty full. Why is that? Because the GMs and Fords of the world have ramped up their productivity, and they're jamming more vehicles, more units onto their dealers' lots, and they're demanding that the dealers buy more. So if you're a dealer, a couple of things I wanted to say to you to try to help you get to where you need to be. It's obvious that discounting is starting again. It has been starting again. Interest rates have made buyers leery, so now I see advertisement for 1% interest if your credit is approved. Manufacturers are putting more burden on the dealers to carry more inventory. They put burden on the dealers to renovate their stores from time to time. And pricing and discounts and interest rates and getting quality employees to do their jobs is all, sort of adds up to make a dealer's life kind of challenging. I want to encourage you, don't build your dealership around discounting. I truly want to encourage you that. And I want to share a few things with you that has worked with us with other dealers we've worked with around the country. Number one, just because someone came in doesn't mean they want to be sold. So just because that next potential buyer, that up, walked through the door, doesn't mean they want to be sold. They want to be treated with a degree of respect. And I know you don't want to let them out of the showroom, but that doesn't mean they want the hard sale, okay? Be careful with that. If I were owning a dealership, or I owned a dealership and I was running one, I would want to create points of differentiation. There's normally 6, 7, 8 GM dealers within a certain radius, or 6, 7, 8 Ford dealers within a specific radius, and you all have the same stuff, right? You all have the same new vehicles. You all have about the same pricing. You all have a service department. You all have a parts department. Maybe F&I, or you probably all have F&I. Some people actually have a body shop. A lot of folks don't have a body shop. But you want to have some points of differentiation on why someone should want to visit your store, walk onto your property without feeling attacked. I want to give you a story. I walked into a Jeep dealer here about 7, 8 years ago before my second daughter decided to move to Colorado, and she was looking for a Jeep, and we actually said to the young salesman, probably not going to buy it here. We just wanted to look around. And of course, he got her into a car to drive it, just to test drive it. And as we were leaving, he turned to me and he said, "You can't leave." And I said, "Why can't I leave?" And he said, "My manager says you can't leave until you sign on the dotted line." And I politely said, "Tell your manager to get out from behind his wall hiding and come and talk to me," which he never did, by the way. So that hard sale kind of stuff is not good for anyone. It's not good for you. It's bad reputation. It's not good for your customers or your potential buyers to feel that. So let me give you a couple of points of differentiation that you might want to consider. One, I would encourage you to do social events in your store all the time. Host business group meetings, host chamber meetings, host events where maybe you do your own internal sidewalk Saturday at your event with balloons and clowns and hot dogs and rides for kids. It sounds maybe a little bit corny or a little bit goofy, but you got to get back to basics. People have to feel good with coming to you. So social events at your store consistently, not once every, never, consistently. You need to evaluate who is the face of your store, who's the face of your store, and why are they the face of your store, and what are you doing to get that individual or those individuals out into the public all the time. Service, and more service. And I don't necessarily mean your service department. I mean how you treat people matters. Do you have loaners? If you don't have loaners, are you renting vehicles for your folks? What are your hours? Are you 8 to 5? Are you 8 to 8? Are you 7 in the morning to midnight so people can come to your service department after hours and maybe even browse your showroom? What are your hours? Are you making it convenient for folks? Do you have a pickup and drop-off service? Are you sending handwritten notes to past customers, to letting them know you're there? Are you keeping active on Facebook with your community? We have a dealer here in Central Florida that has a culinary team on staff full-time. I'm not kidding. Full-time culinary team on staff. And they prepare hot breakfast and hot lunch for everybody that comes into the showroom. You walk on the property, you're entitled to a hot breakfast or a hot lunch, and they do it pleasantly. And they encourage you to bring your friends, family, guests, anyone with you so you can see, touch, and feel their experience. Guys, if you're selling on price, you're dead meat. You know that. I mean, you absolutely know that. But I just think that this one dealership here, they just know how to treat people so special. And a friend of mine's been buying vehicles from this dealership for almost 30 years now. And in part, a large part, is not because they're cheap, because they're not cheap. It's because of how they treat people. Staff training is critical, right? It's absolutely critical. And it goes way beyond product knowledge. Yeah, electric vehicles, combustion engine vehicles, trucks, cars, SUVs, I get it. There's a lot of stuff out there. But training is critical, and it's training on how you greet people, communicate with people, respect people, listen to people, and educate your potential buyers. Why must you have a first call close? Why? Right? So training really, really, really matters. How do you upsell respectfully? Right? So, if someone's going to buy a $55,000 vehicle, you have a lot more profit built into the warranties or a highfalutin radio system or something in the vehicle. How do you upsell with dignity, not trying to ram stuff down people's throats? Here's the real one I always love. How can you train your folks to get an individual to be a 2-unit buyer, not a 1-unit buyer? Maybe a package for their family that prevents them from going to shop somewhere else once you've got them in the store. And that's a training and a discipline scenario, folks. And then last thing I want to suggest to you is that people want to feel good about what they do. I know a lot of dealerships have a follow-up program week, 2 weeks after the vehicle is delivered or driven off the lot. There's a follow-up call. Are you happy? Is everything okay? Well, that's just not good enough. Send a note every 2 or 3 months. Send a gift package every once or twice a year. You want to stay in touch with people. A handwritten note, not an email. A little gift package, maybe a little fruit basket for $40. You know what you made on that vehicle. New vehicle, used vehicle, you know what you made on that. And there's always a way to stay in touch with folks. Maybe you send them a coupon for a free oil change. Thinking of you, Jonathan, you might be about due for an oil change. Our oil changes are $49.95. Here's a free oil change coupon for you. Really appreciate your business. You have to work at making your customer base feel great and not make it all about price. And yes, price matters. But if you're 100% on price, you're 100% dead. Okay, I hope this provided some value to any of the listeners, any of the readers. Love working with dealerships because there's so many different moving parts in a dealership. And if I can help anytime, it's Lou Mosca, louismosca@amserv.com. Like, share, subscribe, follow us. Reach out anytime you want, folks. Have a great day.